So the Washington Post, and Raw Story here as well, they have a really interesting and important article that low-key may be the most important story of the day because of what it says about the current state of affairs in international politics. So take a look at this here. Reacting to a report that Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif made a surprise visit to the G7 summit, reportedly as part of a covert invitation from French President Emmanuel Macron, an MSNBC analyst suggested the leaking of the story was timed to get under Donald Trump's skin. With the Washington Post reporting, Zarif's arrival in Biarritz appeared to be a covert initiative by French President Emmanuel Macron, a senior European official said, and other leaders were not informed ahead of time. MSNBC political analyst John Harwood called the visit, when all eyes are focused on Trump at the G7, a provocation. Speaking with host Alex Witt, Harwood stated, "I think Emmanuel Macron was hitting Trump where it hurts by having the Iranians come for this surprise visit." They continue to say, "What that was a statement that U.S. leadership has been sidelined." He continued, "France, on behalf of partners in the G7 and taking charge of this situation, inviting someone who is not going to talk to the United States, it was a demonstration that U.S. leadership is not central to this issue, and therefore President Trump is not central to this issue." So, let me explain what this means, because this is super important, and they hinted at it at the end there. They laid it out there for you. This is Emmanuel Macron, and honestly, I don't buy the idea that he's the only one who knew. I think other European leaders knew. This is them sending a message to the United States, and that message is, world sole superpower? My ass cheeks. My ass cheeks. Your leadership is no longer needed here. So we get it. Yeah, you got the powerful military, yada, yada. That's all fine and dandy. But you're incredibly erratic. Your leaders are stupid. It's kind of embarrassing. And we're not going to stand for it. We're going to take action, and we're going to send clear messages here. We don't stand with you. So in other words, who's controlling policy in the U.S.? Well, you all know. I know. We got people like Larry Kudlow, Trump's top economic advisor, who's been demonstrably wrong about every prediction he's made for the past 3 decades. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Not even close. Foreign policy, who we got? John Bolton, the guy who's, been behind every illegal and offensive war since the Bush administration. So you think that European leaders, as flawed as they may be, you think they don't look at the U.S. and realize, oh boy, we got clown show galore over there. Oh, they realize it. And there's no question they're laughing at it and mocking it behind the scenes, but also taking action in terms of policy to let everybody know, no. Don't worry. Sure, the Americans are absolutely crazy and are in no position to lead, but we're going to fill that power vacuum. So, why did they invite the Iranian foreign minister? Simply put, Europe is declaring to the world, we are 100% against the move of the Trump administration, John Bolton and the neocons to try to squeeze out the Iranian government, to try to force regime change in the Middle East via economic warfare, which is what they're doing. It's economic warfare. People are dying because they can't get their medicine. And it's all because of U.S. sanctions, illegal U.S. sanctions, which the top UN court told us you can't do that. We said, fuck off. We pulled out of the top UN court and we did whatever we wanted. So this is European leaders and the world saying, that's cute. You think you're really like the only party that matters in this international conversation? No. We're done with you. You're no longer this world sole superpower. You're no longer the leader. When Europe stands united against what the U.S. is doing, Europe's going to get its way. So this is Emmanuel Macron. I honestly believe that despite maybe put the UK aside, but every other European nation, Angela Merkel and others, they're probably like, no. We're actually not going to side with the U.S. against Iran. We're going to side with Iran. And we're going to say, stop trying to squeeze them out of power. And we're going to say, they're welcome in the international community. And we're going to have our discussions. We're going to have our disagreements. We're going to have our negotiations. But we're not going to do these crazy regime change acts. And we're sending a message to the United States. You're not the only person who counts here. You're not the only country that makes the decision. So this was incredibly important. Incredibly important. And it really is a sign that, funny enough, this is exactly what Republicans accused Obama of facilitating. What did they say? They said, oh, the world doesn't respect us. Trump made this argument 1,000 times. The world doesn't respect us anymore. They don't respect Obama's leadership. And guess what? Under Trump, he's guilty of the thing he kept going after Obama for. Dude, they look at you as a clown. They don't trust your leadership. They're trying to undermine you at every turn. They laugh at you. They mock you. Why? Because you're making terrible, erratic, and stupid decisions. And this was a sign of solidarity from the international community with Iran. That's what this was. Trump had no idea that he was coming. The question is, how many of the European leaders did know the Iranian foreign minister was coming? My guess is more than this article lets on. I don't think it was just Macron. So, the sun is setting on the U.S. empire. Now, by the way, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, come on. It's really not a bad thing. When we have leadership in this country that still doesn't even acknowledge climate change and has never met a country it didn't want to bomb, should that country be the world's sole superpower? No. So this is actually a changing of the guard. This is a very important key moment that signifies a changing of the guard, and that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And hopefully they could just almost isolate the U.S. enough diplomatically where we learn our place a little bit, to be totally blunt and honest with you. Now, it's possible that a subsequent administration comes in there and they're much better, and the international community is very happy about that, and they welcome the U.S. back with open arms, but as of right now, the strategy is clear. It's total disagreement with the U.S., isolation of the U.S., and a clear message of fall back, son. That's what we're seeing.